The traveler. No one knows where he came from. No one knows his real name. But wherever he appears, lives quietly change. The village was famous for its finest furniture. Tables carved like works of art. Chairs that lasted generations. Cabinets so beautiful that merchants traveled for weeks just to buy them. Every masterpiece came from one workshop. Its owner was a man named Aldrin. Everyone admired his talent. They also noticed something strange. The greatest masterpiece of his life was never finished. Each morning, Aldrin unlocked his workshop before sunrise. He carefully sharpened his tools. He selected the finest wood. He sketched new ideas. Then he rolled up the drawings and placed them back on the shelf. "If I begin today," he would whisper, "I might discover a better design tomorrow." Years passed. The shelves filled with plans. The masterpiece never began. The traveler arrived on a cool autumn afternoon. As he passed the workshop, he noticed dozens of wooden boxes stacked against the walls. Each one was labeled with a year. Inside were sketches. Hundreds of them. Dreams waiting for the perfect moment. Aldrin smiled politely. "I'm almost ready." The traveler looked around the room. "For what?" "My greatest work." "And when will you begin?" Aldrin laughed. "Tomorrow." The traveler said nothing. Instead, he returned the next morning. Again, Aldrin sharpened his tools, measured the wood, studied the drawings, then carefully put everything away. "Tomorrow." The traveler returned again and again. Winter became spring. Spring became summer. Every visit ended with the same promise. Tomorrow. One evening, the traveler asked Aldrin to walk with him. They climbed a gentle hill overlooking the village. The setting sun painted the sky with shades of gold and crimson. The traveler pointed toward a nearby oak tree. Years earlier, lightning had split its trunk, yet new branches reached toward the sky. "It did not wait to become perfect," the traveler said quietly. "It simply continued to grow." Aldrin looked away. "It is different for trees." The traveler nodded. "Is it?" Days later, a young boy arrived at the workshop. "My mother says you build the finest furniture in the kingdom. I want to become like you." Aldrin smiled. "What are you making?" The boy proudly held up a crooked wooden bird. Its wings were uneven. The paint had dripped. One eye was larger than the other. "It isn't very good," the boy admitted. Aldrin turned the little bird over in his hands. "No, it isn't." The boy lowered his head. Then the traveler spoke. "But tomorrow's masterpiece always begins with today's imperfect work." The boy smiled. He ran home eager to carve another bird. Aldrin remained silent. That night, he unlocked every wooden box in his workshop. He spread decades of drawings across the floor. So many plans. So many tomorrows. He suddenly realized something. He had not been protecting his dream. He had been protecting himself from failure. As long as the masterpiece remained unfinished, it could never disappoint him, but it could never inspire anyone either. Before dawn, he chose a single piece of walnut. Without changing the design, without waiting for a better idea, he made the first cut. The sound echoed through the empty workshop. It was imperfect, slightly uneven. He smiled. For the first time in years, his dream no longer lived on paper. It lived in his hands. Months passed. The masterpiece was finally completed. It wasn't flawless. A tiny knot remained visible in one corner. One carved leaf curved differently from the others. Aldrin considered fixing them. Then he stopped. The imperfections reminded him of the years he had almost lost. He left them exactly as they were. People traveled from every kingdom to admire his greatest creation. They praised its beauty. No one ever mentioned the tiny flaws. Those were visible only to the man who made it. The following spring, the traveler quietly left the village. As he walked away, he heard the familiar sound of chisels striking wood. Not one workshop, many. The young boy had grown. He now taught other children to carve. Above the door of Aldrin's workshop hung a simple wooden sign. It read, "Begin before you are ready." The traveler smiled. The greatest masterpiece had never been the table. It had been the man who finally stopped waiting. Carry this wisdom with you, and may your path always lead toward peace. Until next time, keep seeking what truly matters. One story, one lesson, one life changed.